Habari zenu wanafunzi, habari zenu walimu na wadau wote wa hesabu. Karibuni katika channel hii ambayo tunazungumzia educational materials, specifically now we are talking about mathematics form 2. Tutaendelea na topic ya exponents and radicals, and specifically leo tutazungumzia radicals part ya rationalizing denominator. Kwa hiyo kwenye radicals, actually one of the interesting part ambapo wanafunzi wengi wanaenjoy, wanapata shida baadhi yao ni part hii ya rationalize actually denominators. Remember, when we have radicals, normally we have maybe square root 1 over square root of a. Kwa hiyo ku rationalize denominators, we make sure that actually we are going to remove the radical sign in the denominator. We are going to remove radical sign in the denominator. So you can think how you're going to remove actually a radical sign in the denominator. For this case here, we are going to multiply by the same square root, in both denominator and numerator. And by doing that, actually, we will be in position to remove the square root sign. So we're going to say this is 1 over square root of a times the square root of a over square root of a. What we did here, actually, we just multiplied it by 1, okay? But now you can see that now it is very easy to remove the radical sign. So in the numerator, you have square root of a, and in the denominator, you have square root of a square. So eventually, we are going to have square root of a over a. So if that is the case, now you have seen that actually we have managed to rationalize the denominator. Let us see the second case when you have, for example, 1 over square root of a minus square root of b. For we to be able to remove, all these two radical signs in the denominator, we are going to multiply. We are going to multiply by square root of a plus square root of b, in both numerator and denominator part. Okay? So remember, this is numerator part and denominator part. So how are we going to do it? We are going to say that this is equal to square root of, so you have 1 over square root of a minus square root of b multiplied by square root of a plus square root of b divided by square root of a plus square root of b. Ukishafanya multiplication hiyo, kinachobaki ni kusimplify tu. Sasa to simplify denominator, unaweza ukaziona hizi zina the same trend. It's the same as having actually x plus y times x minus y. This one here is the same as x square minus y square, kama hivyo. So if that is the case, what we can do here, we can say that square root of a minus square root of b multiplied by square root of a plus square root of b, this one here can be written as square root of a square minus square root of b square, and the result will be a minus b. Okay? Or from the last part, we can say that this one here is equal to square root of a plus square root of b divided by a minus b. Yeah. So we have managed to rationalize, that general expressions. So now let us see specific examples. So we are going to see number of examples in which we are supposed to rationalize the denominator. The first example, dear students, imagine being given 1 over square root of 3 and you are supposed to rationalize denominator. So we're going to say actually rationalize denominator of the following. Rationalize the denominator of the following. So for this one here, what we are going to do, we are going to multiply by square root of 3 both sides. So I'm going to say it is 1 over square root of 3 times square root of 3 over square root of 3, and the result will be square root of 3 over square root of 3 square, and the result is going to be square root over 3, square root of 3 over 3, dear friends. We go to second example. The second example, you have 1 over square root of 3 plus square root of 2. What we're going to do here, we are going to multiply. I'm going to say, rationalizing factor here will be square root of 3 minus square root of 2. So we're going to multiply by that actually in both numerator and denominator. So it is square root of 3, it is 1 over square root of 3 plus square root of 2 times square root of 3 minus square root of 2 over square root of 3 minus square root of 2. So when you multiply here, dear students, what we are going to get in the numerator, you have square root of 3 minus square root of 2 divided by, we have seen difference of 2 squares, so this is square root of 3 square minus square root of 2 square. It is square root of 3 minus square root of 2 over 3 minus 2. The result is going to be square root of 3 minus square root of 2. So that is second example. We go to third example. Now, when you have given square root of 3 over square root of 3 plus square root of 5, I can interchange it. Actually, I can say square root of 5 plus square root of 3. So rationalizing factor here is going to be square root of 5 minus square root of 3. So we're going to multiply by this in both numerator and denominator. So you have square root of 3 over square root of 5 plus square root of 3 times square root of 5 minus square root of 3 divided by square root of 5 minus square root of 3. Okay, we are going to open the bracket in the numerator. In the numerator, you have square root of 3 times square root of 5. So it will be square root of 3 times 5 minus square root of 3 times 3 divided by square root of 5 square minus square root of 3 square. So the final result will be square root of actually 15 minus square root of 9, it is 3 over 5 minus 3. The result is going to be square root of 15 minus 3 over 2, dear students. So as you have seen, this one here is the same as that one here, and we have already rationalized the denominator. We go to example number 4. Example number 4, when we have actually radicals in both parts, square root of 2 plus square root of 3 divided by square root of 3 plus square root of 5, for example. Or let it be square root of 3 minus square root of 5. Again here, our rationalizing factor is going to be square root of 3 plus square root of 5. So what we're going to do, we are going to multiply in both numerator and denominator by square root of 3 plus square root of 5. So this one here will be square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over square root of 3 minus square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 3 plus square root of 5 divided by square root of 3 plus square root of 5. We open the bracket. When you open the bracket, now you have square root of 2 will be multiplied by square root of 3 plus square root of 5 plus square root of 3 will be multiplied by square root of 3 plus square root of 5 over this one here is square root of 3 square minus square root of 5 square. We continue by simplifying. Now will be square root of 2 times 3 will be square root of 6 plus the square root of 10 plus square root of 9 plus the square root of 15 divided by 3 minus 5. We proceed, it will be equal to square root of 6 plus square root of 10 plus 3 plus square root of 15 divided by negative 2, and that is actually the final result corresponding to square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over square root of 3 minus square root of 5. The last example for today's session, dear students, this is 50th part, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So if square root of 5 over square root of 5 plus square root of 2 equals to a plus b under root c, what the values of a, b, and c. So what are the values of a, b, and c? So for this kind of question, dear student, for this kind of questions, again, we're going to observe the same procedure. We are going to rationalize denominator. Then after that, the final expression we get, we are going to compare with expression in the right-hand side. So here we go. You're going to say that the square root of 5 over square root of 5 plus the square root of 2. Mind you, our rationalizing factor here will be square root of 5 minus square root of 2. So I'm going to say square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5 minus square root of 2 over square root of 5 plus square root of 2 in the bracket square root of 5 minus square root of 2. So when you multiply, you open the bracket, we are going to get a square root of 5 times 5 minus square root of 2 times 5 over square root of 5 square minus square root of 2 square. This one equals to 5 minus square root of 10 divided by 5 minus 2. We get 5 minus square root of 10 over 3. So we're going to simplify it further. It will be 5 over 3 minus 1 over 3 square root of 10. Now you compare this one with a plus b square root of c. So what are the values of a, b, and c? So when you compare that, dear students, you're going to see that actually a will be equal to 5 over 3, b will be equal to negative 1 over 3, and c will be equal to 10. So that is the last case for today's session. Hopefully this session was beneficial to all of you, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you know these content are going to reach more students. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Before we close our session, I just want to remind you, dear students, important information here. The first information I'd like to remind you is when you have square root of a times square root of b, this is the same as square root of a times b. The second reminder is when you have square root a square root b, this is the same as the square root of a square times b. And when you have actually square root of a over b, this is the same as square root of a over square root of b. And the last one, dear students, when you have a plus b, a minus b, this is the same as a square minus b square. I think these four reminders, they are very important for you to be able, to solve questions very easily in part of radicals. So till next time, thank you very much. Have a nice day.